Say what ho, this is Brian. Call me obviously not Glenn Hughes. Gardner, coming to you from Ramble On Towers. I'm in the Tower studio, actually. Scenic Casper, Ontario, and you are listening to Ramble On Radio, episode 53. Ramble On Radio is the only dedicated Led Zeppelin podcast on this or any other known internets. Be sure to go to rambleonradio.com for all your Led Zeppelin news and any links I might mention during the show. You can subscribe to Ramble On Radio through iTunes. If you go to iTunes, leave a review. It's cheap, it's harmless, it's free actually, and it just helps put us on the charts. You know, put me on the charts, and puts this podcast in front of other people. Same, listen to me on Spreaker. That's with an R, Spreaker at Spreaker.com, and be sure to follow Ramble On Radio on Spreaker. And that's the same thing. It puts you in front of more people if you have more followers. And check it out. I am Brian Dammit on YouTube. And you can follow Ramble On Radio on Facebook. Join the conversation on Facebook, Google Plus, and at Ramble On Blog on Twitter. And yes, I respond to tweets and whatnot. Ask Daryl. Daryl's always giving me messages, and amongst others, other people do too. And I respond. I try really hard to, anyway. So yes, I'm in the Tower studio today. I'm not in the dungeon. The dungeon's a bit damp. The snow has, in fact, melted. It's got above freezing. It's a whole 3 degrees Celsius right now. That's about 48 to 50 to you, to non-Celsius folks. And so I'm looking out the window, and it's actually, this is nice. I'm at my desk in my bedroom, and I'm looking out the window. That sounds like I'm 10 years old, but we have a little desk in the corner of the bedroom. And I'm looking out the window over the neighborhood. I feel like Chris in the Morning. And of course, on a rainy day, Chris in the Morning would talk about the rain. It's raining today. We'd talk about the rain. We'd maybe cite a poem for Walt Whitman. And if you don't know who Chris in the Morning is, you're going to miss this. So I'm going to cite some poetry. No, I'm not. I was going to do Fool in the Rain for you, but it just sounds a little sillier than. But yeah, that's how I feel. That's the mood I'm in. I could do the Chris in the Morning thing, sitting around reading. I got my book on In Through the Outdoor. I should just sit and read the words for you. That would be fun. Yeah, that'd be great. Oh yeah, to hear people clicking off now. So listen, I was going to have Dave Lewis on. The plan was Dave and I were going to chat Wednesday. And I'm running late here because I was kind of holding off on Dave. And then Dave gets back to me on Thursday, says, sorry, I couldn't do Wednesday. And then today I notice that Dave interviewed Glenn Hughes on Wednesday. I got bumped for Glenn Hughes. Now, here's the thing. I've been trying to get Glenn Hughes an interview with Glenn Hughes for ages. So I got bumped so he could interview a guy who won't come on this program. So, if I had a black book, they'd both be on it. So there you go. I'm obviously not Glenn Hughes, I believe is what I said is my call-in. Obviously not Glenn Hughes, because Dave wouldn't do the interview with me. He's too busy doing Glenn Hughes. So listen, I don't blame Dave. If it came down, if I had got that call, hey, Glenn Hughes is available, I'd be calling Dave and saying, sorry, I can't do this Wednesday. And if I'm Glenn Hughes, you know, he's just got years of credibility behind him. So I guess I can tell you the next Type Got Loose is going to have an interview with Glenn Hughes in it. He did post, if you go to his website, Type Got Loose, he did post some quotes from the interview, including one says where it's Jason Bonham's best drum work on record. So we'll see. Now I have California Breed. I have been listening to it. I listened to it today. And I actually thought of, okay, so I need something to do here. I had two ideas. I had an idea and I was floating it. This is probably going to be a short podcast, by the way. Because that's it. I had no interview. And I thought I would do the California Breed interview, but I don't think it's out till May. And I kind of wanted to... I should look that up, shouldn't I? I kind of wanted to wait till it's closer, till it's due, and give myself a chance to do a little research on it, because I've listened to it a few times, but I haven't done any of the research. But hey, since we're talking California breed, here's a question for you. Have you seen that they have a video out? They've done a video. It's at rambleonradio.com called Sweet Tea. I think I mentioned it last week. Am I the only one who's noticed how close Sweet Tea is to Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love? What do you think? I was listening to it today and was struck by it. Wow, that's close. I'm going to have to listen to the two side by side. And when come interview time, I'll mention that specifically. But I was really struck by that. So that's anyway. I'm not going to do the interview. I don't have the interview today, and I'm not going to do California breed. So what am I going to do? Well, let's cover a couple of stories first. Robert Plant has confirmed. It's been confirmed he will play the main stage at Glastonbury this year. Glastonbury is the biggest festival in the UK, and I don't have the date, but it was confirmed today. And I'm sorry, I apologize, I don't have the date. It's been a bit of a scrambly day, and I'm squeezing this in before I make dinner for the family. And like I say, and clean up the damp basement. I knew all this snow was going to melt one day, and it wasn't going to be good. So yeah, May. It's May. California Breed comes out, by the way. So you can pre-order copies now, of course, and then you can go to. I should check. I will definitely get a sidebar for that album on the website. I don't think I do right now. I'd like to emphasize again too. If you're going to be going to Amazon to buy the Led Zeppelin releases, the new ones, the remasters, if you're going to go to Amazon to buy California Breed, if you're going to go to Amazon to buy anything, go to Ramble On Radio first. Click on one of the sidebars. And then even if you're buying, famous quotes of Chairman Mao, the abridged edition, get to Amazon through there. Then look up what you're looking for, what you're going to buy it. It sends money to me, painless to you, and sends some money. Gives this podcast a budget. So yeah, but definitely, if you're going to do California Breed, I will get a link up there. But you could go through. You can click on one of the links to the Led Zeppelin remasters, and. I'm not good at pitching, am I? I'm not a salesman at heart. You hear this? I'm stumbling and stammering over this stuff. Just not good at it. So anyway, yeah, it's June 19th, 20th. 1920, Europe and US. Or not June, May. So it's a month and a half away. So I that's why I'm not reviewing. I was going to review it today. I kind of thought I might, but I want to give myself more time on it, and I have lots more time on it. So I will say in short, it's harder than Black Country Communion. It's less melodic than Black Country Communion. It's more like a typical 70s hard rock band. And that comes with goods and bads. There's good. I think there's good in that, but there's also bad in it. There is. Joe Bonamassa is obviously missing, and he brought something to the table other than cute guitar licks. But I'll get to that one. But it's reasonably good, and yes, I would. It's going to make its way. It'll be part of my summer listening for sure. That's California Breed, by the way. All right, so what I want is I went up into the attic the other day and decided to. What do I have for collectibles? And I was actually looking for. I was an original member of the Kiss Army back in 1976, and sure enough, I have still in the original envelopes. I have all the stuff. The first year Kiss Army, the newsletters they sent out. But when you joined, you got tattoos and stickers, and I think it was a T-shirt iron-on, and some 8x10s, and I have all that stuff still. And there might have even been the poster. I'm not sure. There's some stuff in there I think may have come after, or may have been that got put in with it. But so I have this this Kiss Army, this original Kiss Army thing. So I pulled that out and was looking at it. While I was going through it, I had a couple of other magazines that were relevant to our discussion. So it got me thinking a bit about the collectibles. I don't have a lot of the collectible stuff. I really don't. I have a picture of Jimmy Page downstairs somebody gave me for Christmas that's signed. I assume Jimmy Page signed it. I have no idea what the provenance of this picture actually is. I would never in a million years suggest, I guarantee you that's Jimmy Page, but I got it on the wall. Why not? I got also got the Angel, the photographer. He photographed their first ever show, quite accidentally, really. That he was there taking pictures. It wasn't like he knew who they were going to be. And he did a poster size test sheet of all the pictures that he took. It looks quite good, and I ordered that at one point, probably about 6 years ago. I ordered that, and so I got a couple of wall hanging type things. I got. I would add, I guess, I got from the in London there was a gallery in London did a show of a tribute to Led Zeppelin 4 last year, 2 years ago, on the 40th anniversary, and I got one of those posters too. So I have that sort of thing, but I have very little else, and it's really collectible. Which is interesting because I'm kind of inclined towards that sort of thing, but not heavy duty. I'm also cheap enough that I wouldn't spend all sorts of cash on something, So somebody gave me one of the Jimmy Page dolls at one time. I suppose that counts, right? I did find a couple of things. I have two magazines that are interesting. One is called Zepp's complete 10-year disc history. It's Ideal Celebrities, series number 3, Led Zeppelin. And I remember this, grade 10, a friend ordered it. Probably Cream or something magazine had the order forms, where to order it. And a friend ordered it, and so he got a couple, right? Like he had mentioned, he was thinking of doing it. I was, I'd like that too. And of course, you had to get a more money order and stuff. So it's not like nowadays where you just charge it to your PayPal account. So he ordered for both of us. It was easier and cheaper to order a couple at a time. Still friends with this guy, by the way. Still, he's my get the lead out buddy. We go down and see Get the Lead Outs. So it turns out I thought this magazine was gone, but it turns out I still have it. And I actually thought it was in 1980, or like 81 maybe, after John Bonham had died. But it's not. It's before Into the Outdoor is released. They talk about the new album. What about the new album? And it's 99% pictures. It's all picture. And some of these are quite famous. Jimmy's at the end of the show sitting in front of the Led Zeppelin sign, playing the fair. It's pictures now that I know so well, but a lot of them were new then. So it's kind of a cool little magazine. It's got a bit on the band, 3 or 4 pages, and then the rest is pictures. But it's in fairly good shape, and it's a nice little magazine. It's called, and I'll probably take a picture and post it on the Facebook page. It's called Ideal Celebrity Series number 3. And then there's something else I got. It's Rolling Stone, September 20th, 1990, the 70s, with Jimmy and Robert on the front. And just got a whole book on the 70s. And a longish article on Led Zeppelin. Let's see what we got. With lots of good pictures. Ooh, it even has an insert that I still have. Top 25 albums of the 70s. Where does Led Zeppelin come? Let's see what they come. Wow, this is based on 1990. I would argue almost nobody would agree with this now. How's that sound? It's maybe interesting how Led Zeppelin has come through. Wow. The first Led Zeppelin album to appear on the top 25 albums of the 70s. Presented by Target, by the way. Is In Through the Outdoor at number 16. Can you imagine? Anybody thinking that's right at any time ever? Wow. And that's the only one in the top 25. Let's see what their criteria is, 25 albums spent the longest amount of time at number 1 on Billboard magazine's album charts. Ties are broken by number of weeks spent in the top 40. So there you go. The only Led Zeppelin album to spend to hit the top 25 based on that criteria, which is a mathematical criteria, is number 16 in Through the Outdoor. That's wow. Number 1, Rumors. Number 2, Saturday Night Fever. Number 3, Tapestry. Number 4, Songs in the Key of Life. Number 5, Grease. Fretton Comes Alive. Bridge Over Troubled Water. Elton John's Greatest Hits. Eagles The Long Run. Cosmo Factory. Pearl. To give you an idea, the Long Run ahead of Hotel California, right? Chicago 5, Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, 52nd Street, Hotel California, In Through the Outdoor, and that's it. Some of these I don't even know. How's that? After that, but that's the top 25 albums. Unbelievable. So this magazine, anyways, got 4 pages on Led Zeppelin, but it does have Page and Plant on the cover, boogieing together. All right, then I got, and this is probably the rarest thing I got, and I don't know if it's really got any value whatsoever, but it is the sheet music book of Led Zeppelin 2 by Super Hype Music. This is the 1969 sheet music book of this music. I picked it up in the mid-'70s at a flea market for $1, and it's in somewhat rough shape. A few of the pages are water damaged a bit and stuff. You want poetry? It's got the words right here. It's got the words as well as the music, so I can just read the words without flipping through. Which one you want? Which one you want? We'll do the Chris in the Morning thing with this. This makes sense. Yeah. You need coolin', baby. I'm not foolin'. I'm going to say it, yeah, go back to schoolin'. So it's got the sheet music book. Chris in the Morning was from, I'm drawing a blank. A TV show in the 90s. Northern Exposure. And he had a radio show, and he would sit and look out over the town and, amongst other things, recite poetry and play music of different types. And anyway, so this is the sheet music book. It's tab for you young guitar players. Tab really is something that came out in the 80s. Now, it's actually... if you want to get horribly technical, it's actually like hundreds of years old. Lute music is actually written in tab form, and guitarists have used it through the years. But to see it commercially released the way we do now really didn't happen in the 70s at all. It was into the 80s before we saw it. The closest I'd ever come is I had a book called Led Zeppelin Complete, which is and you can still get this book, and it had the solo for the intro for Since I've Been Loving You. And they did like string fret. They did lines, so it would say 1 7 1 5 1, that sort of thing. And the top was the string, the bottom was that, and it was like a tab type thing underneath the notes. And it did it on 3 or 4 songs, not very many of them. But yeah, see, this is almost valueless because I've transposed Heartbreaker up into the treble clef so I could learn to play it. It was in bass clef, and I've transposed it up right on the page. There you go. There's the value shot. However, I know how to play Heartbreaker, which is priceless. Not the solo, by the way. That's not the solo. That's just the lick. Yeah, there's young me, 16-year-old me going at it. So that's Led Zeppelin 2. I'm showing it to the microphone. And then finally, I have Through the Outdoor. The sheet music book. This would be from 1980. It's got a lot of pictures in it. It's got all Nebworth pictures. It's got a little essay in it. It's got a poster picture in the middle, like a picture in the middle from Nebworth, the one that's standing in the field. And then at the back, it shows all the album covers, all the permeations of the album, all 6. I think that is right. Yep, all 6 covers. And then it also shows. I didn't realize the water on the thing. Well, it basically shows how that works. It goes one with just one thing colored, then 2 things colored, then it shows all the colorings colored. And it's got the Nebworth picture again, a couple of pictures from Nebworth. It's a nice little piece, actually. It's in fairly good shape. And I've never been able to learn a single song off it. Because Led Zeppelin music doesn't necessarily make itself happy on the... although I think now, I wonder if I could make something out of some of this, I think. I think I should try. I should sit and try. But anyway, there it is. That's In Through the Outdoor, exclusive full colors, 1980 sheet music book. And that's about the best I got for collectibles. Love to get, I've said this before, I'd love to get an object. And there's also, I mean, I'd love to get some music collectibles, right? You'd love to hit on. Now, if you go into I got a bunch of 45s, including, I think I mentioned this before, last summer I picked up an original Immigrant song, Hey, Hey, What Can I Do? An original. I do have a 1980 re-release of that, but this is after some research, the original one, which is a bit collectible. I spent years looking for it, let me tell you that. It's something I always, every time I got into a record store, they have 45s, I look. So, probably on that line I got a few things, but nothing. I don't have any collectible records, really, outside of some of the 45s. I don't think I have any collectible books either, per se, other than the stuff we've just talked about. So, yeah, no, I don't have a big. I'd love to hear, though, what you got. What's cool? I bet you everybody's got one or two. Most people got one or two things, if not a lot of things. Now, if you're really interested in this sort of stuff, I mentioned Daryl tweets me. He sells concert tickets and other stuff through his Daryl Alber is his name. If you're on Twitter, look for him. And HK Collectables is the name of his HK Collectables. And as I recall, yeah, they sell concert tickets, framed concert tickets, and he's got lots of Zeppelin. And there was some other stuff on his site. But as I recall, you have to be careful because there's another HK Collectables that is all those Japanese cartoons, and the girls with the big eyes and stuff. It's and then no music stuff basically. So HK Collectables is go to. I think they have a Facebook site. They have an Amazon site actually. If you go Amazon HK Collectables and you find out what they have. And then there's Rick Barrett as well, who also does lots of. He's got high-end collectibles. I recently got a couple of Jimmy Page promo posters. I think it was from the Firm. I want to say. Might have been the Outrider, but they were a couple of black and white promo shots, 8x10s. So I have those sitting downstairs. You can get lots of stuff. But yeah, I'd love to hear what do you got? What's go on to Facebook and let me know. I'd love to see what's out there, what people have hanging on their walls, what collectibles they have. And like I said, this is going to be a short one, and that's about it. I just wanted to. It was something I wanted to talk about, and I'll probably come back to the subject in more depth and detail sometime down the road. I'll probably, if I see when you see stuff around and whatnot, or if if people get a hold of me and say, hey, I got this, I got that, show me pictures. That'd be fun to talk about. That'd be something really neat down the road. But probably something along the lines of Led Zeppelin collectibles would be something that I would. Oh, you know what else I got? A ticket to the O2 show along with the wristband. I still have that sitting in my dresser, and I really need to get it framed. But that is something I have, yes. I have a few things from that night in 2007. I guess that falls in the category of collectible, right? So anyway, that's it. That's Ramble On Radio, episode number 53. Let me get out my script. I never remember all this stuff, right? Check out rambleonradio.com for notes on this week's podcast, Led Zeppelin news, reviews, and any links mentioned in today's podcast. Follow Ramble On Radio on Facebook, Google+, and at Ramble On Blog on Twitter. You can subscribe to Ramble On Radio through iTunes. Don't forget to leave a review. Listen to Spreaker, and check it out. Check out I Am Brian Dammit on YouTube. Don't forget to leave reviews on iTunes. Don't forget to follow me on Spreaker. It just helps put the podcast in front of other people who can then leave reviews, and so on and so forth. And then Glenn Hughes would be interested in, It's as simple as this. Right? The numbers are up, by the way. I thank you all for listening very much. And I know this is probably not that interesting to you, but I thank you all for listening. I do appreciate it. I really do. And the numbers the last month are up into the 250, 300, consistently 250, 300 range. If we can, if that could get pushed up further, it starts to become a lot more credible when you contact people. Say, yeah, listen, I got 500 regular listeners. They're all Led Zeppelin fans, so you're putting yourself in front of people who are inclined to want to hear what you say instead of going on a rock radio station or a rock podcast that may have maybe have 2,000 listeners, but how many of them are actual Led Zeppelin fans? How many of them are likely to go out and buy your Led Zeppelin book, record, T-shirt, whatever? So, yeah, if the reviews help. Follow me on Spreaker helps. And the more ears we get, the better I can make the show. It's as simple as that. It really is. So, but thank you for listening. I appreciate it. I appreciate all that you guys do. And there was one last thing. The intro of this episode was "Dazed and Confused" by Caleb Johnson. That was on American Idol last week. He sang that on American Idol. He's one of the finalists. I don't follow American Idol, and you love J-Lo is one of the judges, and Jennifer Lopez. I hate the J-Lo thing, actually. Talk about lazy reporters. For Christ's sake, spell it out. She says to him, and this guy looks like Meatloaf. She says, that was sexy. So it must have been the Dazed and Confused, because sure wasn't the Meatloaf guy. But anyway, his name is Caleb Johnson. Check it out online. For some reason, I sourced it off my computer, but for some reason it sounds like I had a microphone of the TV set. So yeah, check it out online. It is out there. And he did a decent version. So that was, again, Caleb Johnson doing Dazed and Confused. American Idol was the intro. Thank you for listening. Have a good week. I'll see you next week.
That was very sexy.
Switch off the internet.
Say what? Ho, this is Brian. Call me obviously not Glenn Hughes. Gardner, coming to you from Ramble On Towers. I'm in the Tower studio, and that's the same thing. It puts you in front of more people if you have more followers. And check it out. I am Brian Dammit on YouTube. And you can follow Ramble On Radio on Facebook. Join the conversation on Facebook, Google Plus, and at Ramble On Blog on Twitter. And yes, I respond to tweets and whatnot. Ask Daryl. Daryl's always giving me messages, and amongst others, other people do too. And I respond. I try really hard to, anyway. So yes, I'm in the Tower studio today. I'm not in the dungeon. The dungeon's a bit damp. The snow has in fact melted. It's got above freezing. It's a whole 3 degrees Celsius right now. That's about 48 to 50 to you non-Celsius folks. And so I'm looking out the window, and it's actually, this is nice. I'm at my desk in my bedroom, and I'm looking out the window. That sounds like I'm 10 years old, but we have a little desk in the corner of the bedroom, and I'm looking out the window over the neighborhood. I feel like Chris in the Morning. And of course, on a rainy day, Chris in the Morning would talk about the rain. It's raining today. We'd talk about the rain, would maybe cite a poem for Walt Whitman. And if you don't know who Chris in the Morning is, you're going to miss this. So I'm going to cite some poetry. No, I'm not. I was going to do Fool in the Rain for you, but it just sounds a little sillier than But yeah, that's how I feel. That's the mood I'm in. I could do the Chris in the Morning thing, sitting around reading. I got my book on In Through the Outdoor. I should just sit and read the words for you. That would be fun. Yeah, that'd be a great. Oh yeah, I could hear people clicking off now. So listen, I was going to have Dave Lewis on. The plan was Dave and I were going to chat Wednesday, and I'm running late here because I was kind of holding off on Dave. And then Dave gets back to me on Thursday, says, sorry, I couldn't do Wednesday. Actually, scenic Casper, Ontario, and you are listening to Ramble On Radio, episode 53. Ramble On Radio is the only dedicated Led Zeppelin podcast on this or any other known internets. Be sure to go to rambleonradio.com for all your Led Zeppelin news and any links I might mention during the show. You can subscribe to Ramble On Radio through iTunes. If you go to iTunes, leave a review. It's cheap, it's harmless, it's free actually, and it just helps put us on the charts. Put me on the charts, and puts this podcast in front of other people. Listen to me on Spreaker. That's with an R, Spreaker, at Spreaker.com, and be sure to follow Ramble On Radio on Spreaker.